The truth is there are no guarantees in life. I've met people who I grew up with their kids, and when we grew up, their kids don't speak to them, don't go around them. Pretty much, it's a part of the culture here in the United States. We don't really stay with our families. We kind of do our own thing. The smart thing to do is just get a really big property and everybody kind of just chips in and you guys will have like your own like compound. That's what a lot of people do when they come from other countries. When my family first came to the US, we were all the way together. But then it's just something about this place. You just kind of branch out, you move away, and you kind of lose that feeling. The point is, it's a roll of the dice what you're going to get with your marriage and with your kids. Somebody can look perfect on paper and everything could look great and you can do all the right things and still end up with bad results. So thinking that the answer, because somebody was like, Rico, do you want to be 80 and alone? The truth is, I could get married today and still be married at 80 and alone. I could get married at 79 and still end up 80 and alone. There are no guarantees, but we'll take a listen to this video.
Baby, one thing that I will tell you men, when it comes to getting older, baby, y'all better stop playing. When I say these facilities is filled with nothing but men and they lonely, and y'all act like babies. When you're sick, you need so much attention. And I need this. Can you get that? Can you do this? Can you do that? I love my guys, but baby, a lot of them be in here and don't nobody come see them. Don't nobody check on them. It's wild. Yeah, better stop.
I mean, that's life. That's life. The only two people, the only two unconditional love groups in this country are going to be women and children and your pets. So there's three. There's conditions for men. You can have kids that love you to death, and then as soon as you tell them no one time you say no, then it's like Beyonce said, it's like I never said yes before, and they won't speak to you anymore, and they'll just move on. You might get lucky and have a kid that's like myself. I took care of, my grandmother, great grandmother took care of them until they passed. Did my other siblings? Did anybody else? No. Did anybody else come over to visit? No. And they were women. So it's really, really rough for men. That's why the smart thing to do, because a lot of us have already seen the results. We've seen men with families end up in those facilities. We've seen men that gave their kids all their money and they worked all them years. And because of their success, their kids became lazy, spoiled, ungrateful, still never came to see them. So nowadays we figured out the solution is you work your ass off until it's time to retire. Then you move to the Philippines, you move to Thailand, you marry a woman that's 30 years younger than you. And not only do you have a wife, but you have a caregiver. And those women are way more nurturing than what you're used to. And then if you are smart enough to not get married here and not have kids now and wait until later when you're there or another time, well, then you don't have to worry about the child support and the alimony and all the anguish. I mean, I don't know why people are in such a hurry to reach this appointment. You can look at the internet and look at other people who were just like you, and you can just put 15 years in front of you and just see how it turned out for them. There's nothing new under the sun. The odds of you getting better results but doing the same thing as everybody else, it's slim to none. What is it? Insanity? It's when you're doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So yeah, I mean, what she's saying is true. There are a lot of men in these facilities, but there's also a lot of women. But that's beside the point. People feel sorry for women. No one feels sorry for men. No one cares. And again, once you say no, it's like you never said yes. So it's a lose-lose for men. Since you know you're gonna lose in the end anyway, I can see why more men are starting to be selfish and self-centered. Focus on yourself and you. Thinking that, oh, I'm gonna have kids and I'm gonna get married so that when I get old, I got somebody to take care of me. If you're in the United States, that's not a part of the culture. That's not a part of society. If they shame people that do that, and and you end up just like she's saying, alone in these facilities. So making these hash decisions is not a big thing. Now you can see her. Obviously, she's not married. She has a septum. If you've seen her when she held up her hand, it was like some sort of beluga or some kind of walrus or something. It was like this massive. She's single. Now, she's light skinned, so probably somebody comes over and he smacks and then he leaves. He won't call her. When women do these types of videos, it's like they're trying to tell men, hey, stop passing me over because you don't want to end up in this facility. And it's kind of like they're using a form of manipulation with your psychology by by pointing out that you're going to get old and you're going to be sick. So it's like, okay, so the only benefits of being with you are when I'm old and sick, and you're trying to basically scare me into wanting something with you, even though you're far from qualified. I mean, you're on the internet and you're not even happy about your job taking care of people, but you signed up for it. So think about it. You would do the same thing in my relationship with you, and you could still end up 80 and alone in a facility with a wife like this. Don't fall for the propaganda. Don't let these women use your fear of your own mortality to put you into a situation. I'm noticing now that I'm starting to like look at everything different. There's so many women that don't work. Their full-time job is just to find ways to manipulate men based on our emotions. And it's crazy. There's a saying that you're in love, but she's in business. And if you think about it historically, women have used men to feel sorry for them to survive. But really, they're manipulating the whole situation. Even some of your kids aren't yours. And they tell you that when you go to those DNA testing places, it's like 40% are not the father. But here you are busting your ass, working your whole life, trying to take care of her and these children, but you're not taking care of yourself. And when you get to a certain age, they will all abandon you. So she's using this argument to try to, make it seem like, hey, pick me, or you should, consider some of these women that you're passing up like her. But she's also making the point of why you don't even qualify and that you're really just using us and you're trying to manipulate me. You don't know what the future is going to hold for everybody. There's men in your facilities, but there's a lot of men who are not in your facilities. There's men who take care of themselves. There's men who have families. This is a more so a propaganda campaign for invisible women that people don't really pay attention to, who are still looking for men. So they want to scare you into being with them. I mean, it's a good strategy, but we know so much now. We're just not falling for it anymore. We're just not. So they're really getting desperate. But this video right here was like Sally Strutherish. I'll be honest. I almost sent her 15 cents a day. That's how much I almost cry listening to this story.
This, can you get that? Can you do this? Can you do that? I love my guys, but baby, a lot of them be in here and don't nobody come see them. Don't nobody check on them. It's wild. Y'all better stop playing. They definitely say if you find yourself a wife, you find yourself a good thing, baby. You better find her.
Listen, I promise y'all, I swear to you guys, I've not watched this video. How did I know this was going to more so be a propaganda piece for invisible women? You know that's the term, right? These women, once they get to a certain age, they get to a certain build, they said men don't see them anymore and they become invisible. She's invisible to any man that's not in prison. A man who's fresh out, she's a target. She has a job. She'll let you drive her car. She's at work all day until you get on your feet, and then you won't be called dead in a picture with her. But until then, you're going to need to. But when this is another propaganda piece to promote the invisible women so they'll be more visible to you, you think if she's less attractive, that's going to increase the odds of her being loyal and staying with you. I'm pretty much like 1,000% guaranteed that that's not true. These pretty women, these ugly women, they're all just they're still women in America. They're not going to be in it for the long run for the most part.
Being in her once you get older, ooh-wee. Ooh-wee.
What's the funny part is, baby, you in there with them too. Ooh wee. Ooh wee. You're not married right now. Ooh wee. Ooh wee. And you're talking about what men need to do. Why you don't find a husband? Telling men to find a wife. Where's your husband at? You want somebody to pick you, and you've ran out of, instead of working on your character, and who you are as a person, and maybe trying to get on your fitness journey, you'd rather shame men and scare them into being with you, anything to anything to not work on yourself. It's up to the men, right? Everything's the man, 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 man. It's nothing to do with you. It's crazy. I mean, don't get me wrong, there is some truth to that. But the truth is, you can end up here regardless.
Thing that I will tell you men, when it comes to getting older, baby, y'all better stop playing. When I say these facilities is filled with nothing but men and they lonely, and
y'all see that arm? You see that ham hock? Now do you understand the now do you understand the motivation behind this video? If you had a ham hock on your forearm, you would be making propaganda videos too. You'd be also having to do this. It's just it's that's all it is reverse psychology, mental manipulation. She's not very good at it, but the fact that she's trying, I mean, some guys might bite, but there's so many men walking away from American women. There's so many guys just walking out of her life. There are so many guys that look right through her and past her, that she's lost. She's spinning out of control, and she's literally making a video. She's not promoting the facility full of men. She's actually making it seem like it's a bad thing, which really would just contradict, and it's like the opposite of what you should be doing. You're not even promoting the facility and how great it is. It's not about how terrible it is. You could be in jail and nobody will come visit you. You could have a nice house, and if you won't let everybody come live at your house, they won't come visit you because they're mad. If you tell them, oh, I'm not going to give you some money when they ask to borrow it, they won't visit you. I got cousins right now who I talk to their dad every other day. None of my cousins talk to their dad. Spoiled. Ungrateful. I love my cousins, but literally, and I watched my uncle used to take them shopping, give them car, anything they can help with. But they want to listen to their mothers and blame my uncle for all the issues in the world that he had nothing to do with. And they don't go visit him. He has all these kids. And I talked to him because when I was growing up, he was better to his sons. I'm only his nephew. But anything I need, he's good. He's a cool person. I can always call him. So of course I'm going to make sure I go visit him. I try to hang out with him whenever I can. But his own kids. That's what I mean by getting a wife is not a guarantee. Having kids, even if you're good to them, not kids that you abandon, but kids that you fucking spoil, they'll still look for any petty reason to turn on you. So no, putting yourself in debt, driving yourself up the wall with kids and women, thinking that that's going to save you in your older years, you'll be surprised what women will or will not stick with you. And guess what? You really won't know until something happens. See, my uncle ended up going to jail a long time ago, but his girlfriend at the time, she went to jail too. And he was in there for like 10 years. She did 3 years because she would not say nothing about my uncle. And they let her out. And guess what? When he got out later, him and her got together, and they've been together ever since. He never guessed that she would have been the woman to stick it out with them through thick and thin and hold him down and be there. He never thought. And don't get me wrong, he got out and he's still vibrant. And he can meet another woman that looks better, that's younger. But because she was loyal to him, he won't do it. That's men. Men are more solid people. But these women and these children, they're not. They're not going to come show up for you most of the time, no matter what you do. You can do no right when it comes to certain people. And there's nothing you can do about it. They're born that way. It's just born into people.
Act like babies. When you're sick, you need so much attention. I need this. Can you get that? Can you do this? Can you do that?
I bet you when that ham hock hurts, you turn into a baby too. You want somebody to take care of you and feed you, and there's no man there. Your sister shows up, maybe your mom, but no man's coming for you. And you're sitting here making this propaganda piece, but you're really low-key bad-mouthing men. Nasty work right here.
My God, the baby. A lot of them being here and don't nobody come see him, don't nobody check on him. It's wild. Y'all better stop playing. They definitely say if you find yourself a wife, you find yourself a good thing, baby. You better find her.
Why don't you work on a husband? Why hasn't nobody? Her issue is nobody's found her. That's really her issue.
Being in her, once you get older, ooh-wee. Ooh-wee.
I mean, that's life. Shit happens. But but if you know that that's what could potentially happen, got to kind of make little better decisions. I'm telling you, what I suggested was, get a little older, marry a woman 30 years younger than you in the Philippines or in Thailand. She's your wife and your caregiver. And when I see those men with their women, those women follow them around. Those women take care of them like kings. One of my really good friends, he's married to a woman from Japan. He said that he gets mad because she won't argue with him. And then that's when I realized men just don't know what we want, man. Men ain't shit. I'm like, how the fuck is that a problem? Why would you want somebody to argue with you? That defeats the whole purpose of even being with an Asian woman, because she won't argue. If you wanted somebody to argue with you, you would have got with a black chick, but you got with her on purpose. And that's what men are all over the place. But the point is, there's no guarantee on where you're going to end up later in life. No matter how many kids, no matter how many wives, no matter how perfect you are, people will still turn their back on you later, or if shit hits the fan. You never know until stuff happens. Until things serious happen, you don't know who's going to do what. You don't know. You don't know who's solid. So, I mean, don't take the ham hocks advice. I would listen to me. I mean, you get a little bit further with my advice, but it's up to you. Rico or the Hawk. Like and subscribe, share the video. Let me know your thoughts. I'll be back on short with another video. America first, America only.
I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.